Welcome to Bass and Boundaries podcast. I'm your host, Amy G, and this is your one-stop shop for all things mental health and music. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Bass and Boundaries. If you're new here, my name's Amy, and I interview people all about mental health and music and how, especially like drum and bass, has made such a positive impact on people's lives like it has mine. And today I'm here with the absolutely stunning Sammy C. Hello, my darling. How are you?
Hi everyone.
Oh,
I'm good,
glad
thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on. So tell everybody about you. What do you do?
I've been DJing for about 2 years, maybe even a little bit less, which doesn't seem very long. Drum and bass, but I play a variety of subgenres, mainly dance floor, jungle, your kind of ragga, reggae, D&B vibes always seems to come through all my sets. I think that's from just always loving reggae and ragga when I was younger, and hip hop, UK hip hop, even indie, like everything kind of comes out in my mixes. So I've loved drum and bass since I was 12, which was 1992. A long time ago. I'm very old.
Oh,
Um, and been a raver since I was 16, 17, and being naughty with a fake ID, getting into clubs a little bit early. I think the first club I ever went to was Helter Skelter,
nice.
which, and then it became a local in a way. Even though we were Portsmouth, we would drive to Milton Keynes, like, just because it is, an amazing, amazing club. So, yeah, I've loved drum and bass for a very, very long time. My day job is very corporate, very boring, and this is the exciting part.
I think a lot of us have that issue, don't we? I mean, I was saying in a previous thing, I started this podcast because I can't DJ. I've tried, um, and I just can't seem to get the hang of it. But I was like, how can I incorporate my love for drum and bass into something? And I think that's what a lot of us have. That's why I have so much in common with DJs, even though it's not the
Yeah,
same thing. But
yeah.
what made you go, I'm going to be a DJ, I'm just going to do it?
So yeah, it was three sort of major things that had happened in my life. I think I'd always wanted to be a DJ. I bought 1210s when I was 18 on interest-free finance
Oh, I
back
love it.
then, and they just sat in my room, moved around. I lived in Brighton, London, Bristol, took them everywhere, collected loads of records, loved collecting records from, Chemical Records and various places, and all kind of from, I'd say, early 2000s, which, now are great vinyl to have. But didn't really, I think I was just too busy raving. Didn't have the time to really, really focus and learn it properly.
Mm.
Um, Ended up selling my 1210s, which everybody always regrets, don't they? I don't really. I would quite like them in the house still, but yeah, and then just forgot about it really. But I've always raved. So, literally every Friday, Saturday, we would just pick up your mix mag, find the event, drive to Birmingham, drive to London, drive to Bristol, drive wherever the rave is, wherever the DJs were that we wanted to see. And so it's always been, drum and bass has been a huge part of my life, for 34 years now. So there's no other genre that I would listen to daily. Like, I love a lot of music, but like
Yeah.
drum and bass. So yeah, a couple of years ago, I found out I had breast cancer, on both sides, so bilateral breast cancer, and I lost my job as well. So I got made redundant. I hadn't been there that long, so I didn't really have any rights. You've got to be there 2 years
Course.
to have any kind of rights. So I lost, and I was traveling back and forth to London from Portsmouth. So it was a good job, good salary, and also my husband at the time was cheating on me. So there was like three major
Oh,
big
bless you.
things, and I just in the week I was waiting to find out what kind of cancer it was and things, I was just like, "Well, I'm just gonna I was just staying in my little girl's bed every day because, you like you said, you're worried about what you're gonna be told." And I was like, "Right, I'm just gonna be a DJ because
Yeah.
life's too short." So bought a controller, um, and I'm not very good. It's definitely the ADHD in me, but I'm not very good at reading something and learning it, or watching a YouTube video and learning. I have to do it. Someone has to teach me, like, in person. And then my brain just goes, yeah, you just sort of fire off each other. And
I'm
that's
the
how I learn.
same. Yeah.
If someone gave me a manual to read or instructions, I never bother,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
just, you just don't do it, do you? Or
No.
watching YouTube videos, my brain's gone, it's like doom scrolling, isn't it? 2
Yeah.
seconds in, you're not paying attention. So I was like, "Right, someone needs to teach me." And I was sort of just searching. I've got friends that can teach you as well, but I just thought, just outside of friends, I'll just go and actually pay for lessons. So I found there's not many people that offer DJ lessons
No, they
actually,
don't.
but so it's something that I've thought about doing now. But I found Southampton River Studios. Didn't know who the teacher was going to be until I got there, and it was Ed Oberon from V Recordings,
Yeah, yeah.
Paul T and Ed Oberon,
Wow.
and which was amazing. I was like, perfect person to
Like,
teach me.
hi.
Perfect person to teach me. And I remember, yeah, my first lesson, he's like, "So what do you want to get out of this?" And I was like, "Well, I want to play clubs and festivals." He's like, "Okay."
Dream
And
big.
yeah, maybe had 10 lessons, maybe more. I had them quite frequently and obviously just picked it up really quickly, got the hang of it. And then, we got on so well that I just, we would have little catch up lessons and try and learn, something that I'd just more of the effects or more of things that not necessarily drum and bass DJs use all the time, really, all the effect buttons and everything and looping and, just as much as I could take in. And I also had a lesson with Occo in Bristol, which was like a 5-hour lesson. I went to the London Sound Academy and had a few lessons there. Just anyway, because everyone teaches differently as well. So the London Sound Academy, it's all lots and lots of different teachers, and they're all into their own different genres as well. And it's quite interesting to see how a house DJ plays compared to like a drum and bass DJ
Yeah.
or a open format or all of that. So just trying to soak in as much as I could really. And I think it was about 6 months sort of after this time, I had been messaging one of the promoters in Portsmouth. Say, please can I play? Please can I play? Have you listened to my mixes? I think I was doing that for a couple of months and then got a message out of the blue to say, do you want to come on the Andy C show? I was like, we just nearly had like a little heart
No
attack.
way.
I'd already been booked for General Levy the same day through the studios at Track Shack Studios in Fareham. I'd met a great bunch of DJs, and they had the second room for On a Mission garden party in a pub called The Hobbit. So
Yeah, yeah.
outdoor, like great venue. So I was doing that, and then Andy C, and I was like, oh no, I've been booked for. I think I played quite early for General Levy, so it was like 3 or 4 o'clock. And then Andy C was 8:30. So I could do one in Southampton, one in Portsmouth,
Oh my God.
which,
Wow.
yeah, was absolutely, yeah, crazy. And grabbed sort of Andy at the end and they're trying to usher him out. And I was like, Andy, oh, Andy, I was like, I've come to see you for 27 years, I reckon. I've been, seeing you at different clubs. And I said, and today I'm on the same lineup as you, as that's blown my mind, sort of thing. Got
Oh
a
my
little
God.
picture and things. But yeah, and since then it's just gone like crazy, really. I've supported Wilkinson, um, also supporting him again in September.
Wow.
Hybrid Minds, yeah, General Levy and Andy C, 4am crew, Mosey a few weeks ago.
Love Mosey so much. He's an absolute nutter. I love him so much. I
He's
think,
so lovely. We made him a bespoke gemmed hat
oh
with
my,
my friend and I. We've got a brand called ADHD D&B, and so we made him an ADHD because yeah,
he's
everybody at drum and bass has ADHD.
right. Can I
Absolutely
just say,
everybody.
I have been dying to say that for the longest period doing these podcasts because I'm diagnosed with it. And I always say to people, I'm diagnosed, I've not got the trendy edition because it's so flipping difficult, isn't it? When we're diagnosed with it, no one understands the struggles of it. And I genuinely believe that every single person I've spoken to has some form of it.
Oh,
But also the
definitely.
people that listen as well. Like I was literally 10,000 people strong yesterday in the, it worried about Henry. And it honestly can tell you now, I'm pretty certain every single person there
Oh,
probably
yeah.
has some form of ADHD, autism, or whatever, because we all just fit in. And it's
Yeah, you
that,
gravitate towards each other.
yeah, I don't know about you, but I've spent most of my life not being able to fit in anywhere. I left my corporate job because I couldn't with the fact I couldn't fit in, and I was feeling like a lot of things. And then in the drum and bass world, in the raves, in the communities, everyone just looks out for each other. I've never known
Oh,
anything
yeah.
like it. It's so foreign to me.
Yeah.
And I know that it is for so many people. And so when people you talk about drum and bass, people go, "Oh, it must be paraphernalia and all of this." And it's like, it's not actually. You know, when you actually really
Yeah.
get to know the scene, it's amazing, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, and if you bring someone in who's never experienced it, that happened with one of my friends quite recently, and she's even, a bit older than me. She's always like, "Oh, I just thought that drum and bass would be really aggy and like,
right,
just."
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then she just couldn't. She just comes all the time now. She's like, "I can't believe how friendly everybody is." I was like,
Oh,
"It's the only place, you'll see someone dressed as a dinosaur carrying a Henry Hoover or wearing literally an all-in-one suit. Like you get
yeah.
whatever."
There was 2 guys yesterday at,
Like a wedding suit, like they were whatever,
yeah.
you just get anybody and everyone.
There was 2 yesterday dressed up as chefs, and I see them all at all the Andromedic shows because I know who they are now. I'll call them the chefs. They were there, and then there was 2 yesterday in VIP dressed up as bananas.
Yeah, have you seen the Smurfs? They go
I
out quite a bit,
have,
yeah.
yeah, I have, and I love that though because it's just
And the
it's
duck suits, with the ducks on and
yeah.
duck
There was a
hats
there
and
was a dragon there at one point. Like everyone just people life is like you said, life is so short and you just have to enjoy it. And I think that's like the biggest element of drum and bass, isn't it? Like so many people don't get it until they've experienced it. And you go, wow, I never thought my life would be transformed into this. Because people I don't know about you, but I ask this on every podcast, like, do you feel music? Like
yeah,
it hits yeah. So
yeah,
you'll understand that, like, you'll see people, like, when they're driving in their car, they've just got their radio on and they're just this. There's nothing there. Whereas I'm
at my
throwing
place.
bass, I'm like, "What?" Like this, and, like, living my absolute best life. And I think that, like, when you're in that community and in that scene, you were born to stand out, but we all fit in together. And I just think that everyone just kind of is a pillar for each other. I've never known a community like it. And for me, I'm just so humbled by it all. Does that make sense?
Yeah, oh, definitely, and I feel like you go to a festival over the weekend and your whole week after is still filled with love and you're just living on that buzz before you go back to kind of normal, reality because everyone's so friendly. It's the friendliness, isn't it? That's what it is.
It's the come down as well from like the event. Like today, I woke up, I felt really, I was buzzing because I've been to a rave. I was having my best, my best life was lived yesterday. But then it's the day after and the preceding days, as it kind of comes out your system, you start to become quite depressed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Because
I've felt this
normal
like
life is not as fun.
it's not, and I just wish I could live in that bubble forever.
Yeah.
Um, but when do you find that you have, like, the same kind of thing, like, a couple of days afterwards, you start to feel, like, quite depressed and
Yeah, I think that I'm lucky that there was always a lot in the diary to be looking forward to, but you definitely feel a lull of like, you're just surrounded by so many nice people, aren't you? And you meet so many new people and so many people that I've met over the years that are friends, rave friends, but friends for life or become very good friends. And it's from raves. And your circle just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It doesn't matter what
does.
city you go to, you know people. And that's from the music. And yeah, which is insane, isn't it? So I think going back to your normal I'm always working from home, so back to your computer and it's
Yeah.
just it's not the same. I'm always, looking through clips for the last week or posting clips or yeah, you kind of reliving that little time. But
You don't want it to end. It's kind of like a yeah, especially if you're, like, working from home and you're sitting there and you're like, "I just wish I was on a stage," or, "I wish I was doing this," and, so when you're performing, do you get like it's gonna sound daft, but do you see the crowd or do you just see what's in front of you? Because I know some
no,
people
I
they
totally see the crowd.
you don't.
No, I
Some
do.
people oh, you
Do.
do? But
Yeah.
some people, like, entertain the crowd and some people, like and I think that's why some people have MCs.
Yeah,
They don't wanna interact, they
and
just wanna
I wouldn't say
perform.
entertain the I probably do entertain them without like, I'll always wear sparkly outfits. My hair's always in
Love
braids
it.
or whatever, and, I'll jump around and I'm always looking out. So, and it is one of those things, if you're not looking up as a DJ, you put your arm up, that everyone else puts their arm up. So they're following exactly what you're doing. You know, you do
Love
gun
that.
fingers, everyone's so if you're not interacting, they're not gonna they're just looking at a blank someone with their head down. It drives me. That does, and I get people are shy and people, and that's how some people are just that's how they DJ. But I think you've got to look up. You got to see
People
the
are looking
people
at
that are
you. Yeah.
like because they're watching you. They're facing you, aren't they? Um, I mean, you've got some clubs now, haven't you? Is it the Phonics, where they make it very dark, so you can't see the DJ, and everyone's dancing almost around the glitter ball to kind of take that away,
Oh.
so you don't. So you just feel the music and you're just dancing. You're not just focusing on watching the DJ. But then for me, I was like, no, I want to like be jumping around, but it depends on the vibe. That's more of a liquidy drum and bassy, like
It's like a euphoria kind of feeling, isn't
yeah, and I
it?
get
Like,
that as well, like, that makes sense, you should just be there to dance, but again, yeah, I think interacting with the crowd is really important.
I noticed it yesterday. It was like, I got some amazing thank you to Mosey for this camera footage because I was filming him and he looks directly at my camera, he puts his hands behind his head and he starts shaking like this. I was like, "You absolute babe, thank you." Like, but he had an MC and he was great. I'm 50-50 with MCs. I think you've got to have a good one. Like they're not
Yeah, a
just
host is great, host it
yeah,
rather than
they're not talking over the drop and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Because that's like the worst thing. It's like it's a proper buzzkill for me. But then he's got like 4 dancers dressed as bloody cowgirls coming out with their hats
oh,
on. I was like,
brilliant, I wanna be
and
one of
his
them.
and his like his stuff on the screens is like his face on a moon. And I
Oh,
was
I
like,
did see some clips actually.
he's
Yeah.
given Mighty Boosh and I love him for it. Do you know what I mean? And I think he just I love the fact that he takes the mick out of himself and he doesn't take things too seriously. And that's what I love about like the whole scene as well. Like you do get people that do take it seriously and they come on the stage and they're very professional and stuff. But then you just got people that just absolutely just like is just be like Mosey. Like,
I think anything goes as long as I just love watching people that look like they're enjoying themselves so
yeah.
much.
Yeah.
And especially when there's a back to back or something and they're just properly laughing and vibing off each other. And especially when it's your friends as well, because we've got such a big group of us down south and we all support each other's events. And when you're watching each other, it's just, yeah, it's great to see everyone just having a nice time.
And that's very foreign for a lot of people in jobs where, like when you're like me, I'm self-employed, like I'm up against people and I'm not a sort of person that is very competitive. I hate competition. So when I've seen like Rampage was a prime example, like I've seen all my DJ friends, they're all loving and supporting each other in somebody that maybe is working in a corporate position, that's very unusual because they're
Mm.
kind of like, "Oh, why are they supporting each other? That's technically their competition." But it's not like that in this world, is it? It's not.
No, 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 you're right. And don't get me wrong, there are going to be people that aren't supportive. There's always you see it, don't you, on Facebook and the chats and everything. There's always somebody that wants to say something about,
Mm.
not a DJ unless you've played vinyl for 20 years or whatever.
One of them ones.
Just anything like that. There's always people that are bitter and not supportive. But I would say generally in the scene, you know, that's just a small percentage. I think people are really supportive, especially in drum and bass
Yeah.
with each other. Well, we are, don't we? The Portsmouth sort of scene, drum and bass scene, we're very, very supportive, and Southampton, yeah.
There is a big scene down there as well, isn't there?
Yeah, it's got bigger, I'd say, in the last 5 years. Kinda it was big when I was a teenager here, and then
Mm.
it kind of fizzled out a little bit. Um, I don't know if it was just because a lot of clubs disappeared, like little clubs and things, and more clubs have come back or reopened or managers have allowed drum and bass back in, it's that kind of thing. So, yeah, it's just finding venues. There's always a pub with an upstairs function room that you can use, and it's just yeah, the more going on, the more people are doing it, and more people are coming out, and yeah, I think drum and bass has come back big time really down here.
Is good. It's a good thing. There's not much where I live, to be fair.
I do hear that a lot with,
In the Midlands, there's nothing.
yeah,
It's
all the time I hear that, and I think,
every
"Wow."
single. It feels like you're completely on your own.
Yeah,
Like you, it is hard. I mean, people are trying, but when you don't have a lot of D&B fans, it's hard to create something that just isn't needed. There are a few festivals that are like they're like popping up here, there, and everywhere that are D&B, but they're just
yeah.
little one-offs, and it's such a shame that there isn't something bigger. So I'm having to travel to Manchester, to London, just to get my fix, if you will.
There must be the need, though. I just think everyone loves drum and bass, but we met quite a large group of people at Gemfest that were from, like, Leeds,
Yeah, yeah.
and they were saying the same, they have to go to travel quite far, so there must be an amount of people, but it's
They're
obviously,
just
yeah,
dotted about
just
everywhere.
dotted about a little bit more, or they're just not as big. But yeah, I find that crazy. Just thought it was the same everywhere.
No, not. And it's the same in like different countries as well. Like I've figured out from these interviews and stuff, like Belgium has such a massive drum and bass scene. I mean, I'm going in October, I can't wait. But like the scene in especially in Europe is massive.
Mm,
Like, and I wish the UK had more of that because yeah, it's not great, is it?
Belgium, yeah. And is it more like neuro, or is it like
Dance floor,
dance
definitely.
floor? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely
Especially in
dance.
Amsterdam, they have some great, is it high tea? They have some really good events. So yeah, yeah.
So with with drum and bass in general, or just in with music, like who inspires you? Like who are your like top artists that make you go, oh my god, I'd love to be like them? Or
I just love high contrast. Like, I think he's just a genius. And, he's done this two albums, the Restoration album, the newest one.
yeah,
And then 20 years ago, Confidential. And I was listening to the Confidential album 20 years ago over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And there was like a double one you could get. I've still got it on CD just out there.
oh my
Um,
god,
and it's timeless. And then 20 years later, he produced Restoration, and it's just like completely timeless. Listened to a mix of his the other day from 2003, his first one on Radio 1, I think, and it's 2 hours, and you just wouldn't believe that he hadn't done it yesterday. Like,
that's
it's
mad.
so timeless, and so, like, where he gets his ideas from. And it's funny, me and my boyfriend always say, "We just wanna just ask him if we can pop round his house in Wales just for a cup of tea, just ask him about, just have a look at his, all the equipment, just ask
Yeah,
where he's
like
getting the samples from." And, like, there's this old
the
films
Phoebe
and
Cribs
things, and
thing, like
it's so beautiful. It's not necessarily, if I'm doing a liquid drum and bass set, like, I do a yoga warehouse session, and I do liquid drum and bass, and
nice.
it's a lot older ages as well. And you wouldn't think, there's a lot of older women that I never thought, I'd like drum and bass, because it's not your typical drum and bass. There's so many subgenres. It's the same as house, the same as anything. But, when people go, "I don't like drum and bass," well, there's a drum and bass for everyone.
There is actually.
Liquid drum and bass, very, they all absolutely loved it, at this yoga
Wow.
session. And I would play a lot of high contrast tunes. Probably half of it is high contrast. 'Cause it's just so beautiful. But actually watching him DJ as well, he plays some absolute filthy rollers in between, his classics that everyone knows. Brilliant to watch. So yeah. And, Andy C's got to be up there, hasn't he? He's absolutely amazing to even figure out what and how he is doing what he's doing.
I know. I know.
Um, he did a 3-hour set in Southampton a couple of weeks ago at the Hobbit, and the last 15 minutes was just absolutely insane. Like, I was just like, just trying to work out how he was putting those tunes together. It was like fireworks going off, but with music, because it was just like bam, bam, crazy. How he does it, I do not know.
I do wonder how some of them do it because I've yesterday, like some of the artists that were on, Sota, he's one that he never fails to amaze me. Like he'll always have something up his sleeve and he'll just drop something. You think, How?
Yeah, he's a great DJ.
He is. I've seen him 3 times, and I always see his family there, and I just think that's the cutest thing, like
It's cute.
but yeah. So have you ever cried at a rave? Like, from the pure
Mm,
emotion?
I don't think I have, but I had tickets to go and see to go to Lensman's, event in
Yeah, yeah.
and I think there I would have definitely. I think it would have been such a unity of DJs and MCs that had come together for him. I even said before, I was like, "I know I'm gonna, like" I can go in the end, but I was like, "I will just be crying," like, 'cause but I think that's, it's more to do with why the event and everything. I do think, yeah, I've definitely, goosebumps and feel a lot of
Mm.
emotions, but I just, yeah, love all drum. I don't really like jump up though. I was gonna say I
Do
love
you
all
not?
drum and bass, but not jump up. Um, a bit of it, but yeah, I couldn't do a full all evening jump up lineup. I'm a bit more old school.
I think it just depends on the person, doesn't it? Like,
But
some
like you said,
things.
Mosey is amazing to watch, and he is jump up, but
Yeah, like some of the things, some of the D&B that I've listened to, like when I was at WAH yesterday, there was 2 stages. There was the main and the little stage. Now the little stage, I cocked my nose up to it originally. I was like, "Oh, it's all like stuff I don't listen to." It's all like I say, like the reggae stuff. Do you know what I mean? And there
I
was
probably
like,
would have been there.
well, do you know what? I will eat my hat on this one because I was having a break because it was so bloody hot. There was nowhere to go. You can't run away from the sun. So I went round and had a little bit of a mooch round, get some water, and I was just kind of like in earshot of it. And I went, "Ooh, I kind of like this." And I stayed. I actually ended up staying because it was really good. And it was
Yeah.
like that was something with, like, when people go, "Oh, I don't like this genre, I don't like this." Actually, do you know what? If you actually give it a try, you'll be surprised. Like, it even shocked me. I was like, I don't ever listen to this stuff, but I'm like full bass face. Like, yeah, this is
Oh,
quite
yeah, that's
good.
what I love. Love,
Love
love,
seeing the
love.
bass
Yeah,
face.
yeah. But yeah, real, like real Belgium jump up, I just think, "Oh my god." We went to D&B All Stars in Mallorca, and before the
Nice.
event started, there was a lot of open decks on the strip, and obviously a lot younger ages as well, and, it was just noise, and I was just said to my boyfriend, I was like, "If I didn't know what drum and bass was and I heard this, I would be one of those people that said I hate it." I hated it, and I love drum and bass.
Is that the sort of
It
stuff
was
that's like
horrible.
high pitched and yeah, or
Just noise.
yeah.
Just like froggy, just noise. No. It wasn't, the festival wasn't all like that, but there was 4 stages, so there was stages you could, pick, and I will definitely play a bit of jump up in my sets and a bit of
Yeah.
old school jump up, but I think it's just gotta be the tunes that I know I like, and I go, "Yeah, I love that one." It's just, you just know what you like and what you don't like, don't you? But yeah, I'm definitely more of the jungle cake, born on road, the reggae ragga vibe, dance floory, vocal kind of, yeah, to my sets really.
It baffles me because there's some artist that, like, one of my friends listens to, and we used to work together, and it was, again, just simply noise, and a lot of that was kind of like jump pop and stuff like that. So I understand. Primate was one that was doing a
Yeah.
lot of that
Y
noises, and I'm like, "I like this." But it was great when you didn't like your manager and you used to put it on just to irritate the manager. It was just chef's kiss moment, that was.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's definitely some good drama, but yeah, some of it is just no. It wouldn't be, if you had to prioritize all the subgenres, it would be the one down the bottom for me, but
Mm. I think so. I think you've got to have. I mean, there's some things that I've heard as well where you'll have, I say, especially on SoundCloud, where you'll have someone trying to incorporate different types of genres into one, and sometimes it doesn't work. And I think, and I did sit there with the other week, and I was laughing about it because I was going, if I was trying to DJ with the little knowledge that I have, I absolutely would probably try and do that and probably really mess it up. So, have you ever like messed up on, like, you've been doing a set and it's just not gone right? Or do you ever have like any "Oh my god, what if I go on stage and it goes wrong?" Or do you
Oh,
just go,
definitely at the start. Yeah,
"Yeah,
I got really, really nervous. I still do a little bit. The fact I just know now that the first 5 minutes is the kind of settling in, like, just quickly check because everyone has their settings differently, and you don't know who you're taking over from and how they've got their settings, and you've got, what, 30 seconds or a minute to kind of get your USB in, get it on the right deck, so you're not turning off that deck. That's always the big, every DJ's nightmare, pressing the wrong deck and it just goes
no."
silent. And actually the crowd never care. I think it's only ever happened to me once quite early on, and it was a very local little kind of quiet rave. But even then, you're like, you never want to do that ever again. But um, I wouldn't say a set that's gone wrong. I would say only because I do prepare them, and I go over and over and over and over, and I could do it blindfolded without headphones on when I know my set inside out. But I would say it's always the equipment. Like
Yeah.
you've practiced your set on 3 decks, and you go there, and this happened for headaches actually the other day. One of the decks wasn't working, so
No.
you've got 2 decks, but then one of the decks was slipping quite a lot. Just needed updating, I think, and every time you use any of the effects, the speaker cut out. So you just have to adapt quickly. And I think at first, especially, I'm still a new DJ really, but I think at first that was quite nerve wracking, just knowing
Yeah.
like what could, or just panicking about what could happen. But actually, yeah, I think once you've played on a few different types of CDJs and controllers and whatever, you're like, okay, the buttons are in different places, but you can quite quickly work it out.
I think that's probably something I would struggle with. If you've got like a specific type of deck and then you've gone to a venue and it's completely different, like if you've never used that before, I suppose it would like incite a bit of panic,
Like
wouldn't
driving a car, when you get in a different car,
it?
you're like,
Yes.
oh, this is just a bit weird. The brake is a bit different, and
The
everything's just a little
clutch
bit
is a bit
different.
weird. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, it's just like that. But the more I've done it, that's definitely less of an issue, unless it's totally you got then you're like, ah, a particular mixer like an Allen and Heath is, I don't know why clubs have them, but yeah, generally it's always Pioneer equipment. But yeah, an Allen and Heath mixer that totally threw me. But even then, everything is different on the mixer. You just have to really quickly. Maybe that's the ADHD thing again. Is the hyper focus? Like you've got 5 minutes to work, not even 5 minutes. You've got 2 minutes to work this out,
Oh my
and
God.
you just do
And
it.
then that's with ADHD, isn't it? Like, I always see there's 2 types of people with ADHD. The ones that will just go, "Yep, it's absolutely fine, hyper focus, done." And then there's my type that goes, "Ah, I need to run away from this, but I'm not going to, but I'm also gonna panic that I'm not gonna get it right." And then there's all these steps, and then it ends up working out, and you're like, "Why did I worry about this in the
Yeah,
first place?" Do you
yeah,
ever go to
yeah.
raves on your own, or do you always go with people?
Uh, Generally, I always go with people. I don't know if there's because there's always people to go with, but I did when I moved to Brighton, I was 25 and I'd been traveling. I went traveling for a couple of years, like mainly Asia, and I lived in New Zealand for a little while, which has an amazing drum and bass scene, by the way. And it
Uh,
might be where a lot of the reggae, like the Fat Freddy's drop Salmonella Dub, that's their vibe, but they love their drum and bass as well. But it's very
yeah.
reggae heavy, and yeah, I came home and I was obviously in, because I've been traveling a lot on my own and I was in traveling mode and I was like, I'm just going to move to Brighton. My mum and dad was like, well, you don't know anyone in Brighton. I was like, I don't care. I'll just go and move there. And I started going to a night at Audio, it's called something else now, called Supercharged. And it was a breaks night. And Ed Solo would play and JFB and Beardy Man would be there. And um, yeah, lots of Darrison, MC Darrison, lots of like drum and bass artists, and so then I was just going out on my own all the time, and I just kind of met those guys and sort of hung around a bit, and yeah, just got into the scene that way. But then again, through that, then you meet friends quite quickly, don't you, that are into the same thing. So you go there every Wednesday, it's the same people every Wednesday, and you start becoming friends with everyone. Um, but yeah, I'm always really impressed with the solo ravers. Like I'm in the D&B family group. WhatsApp chat, and there's a solo raving group for I think every event going on. You know, Gemfest there was one. There's there was there's one for and they get together and um yeah, and obviously have a great time. But I just
And
think,
you add into
especially
that.
when it's younguns, I think pretty brave. You know, if you're teenager in your early 20s and you love the music so much that you're quite happy to go solo, like a solo festival, like that's so brave, you know.
Yeah. I think it's for older people as well, like me, because I'm 35.
And older people. Yeah, I just think
Yeah.
we might be
Like
a bit more
I
confident
would
to do it. I don't know.
I mean, 4 or 5 years ago, someone had said to me, "You're gonna go to a rave on your own." I'd be like, "No, no, no, don't be silly." But I prefer going on my own now.
Well, I'm always just front left anyway, and everyone knows where I am, and then I'll just
I'm the
stay.
same.
So I'm pretty, you could just be on your own anyway, and you meet
People
whoever
come
you're
up and find
dancing
you.
with, don't you? And you're like, "Oh, I'll
People
just be
come and
here."
find you. Yeah, literally. So I mean, I think it's actually incredible, especially for young people to understand as well. Like that the younger ones are very fortunate that they're in this generation so that they can do those kinds of things because, you know,
Mm.
15 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to do that. Not a chance.
I think you would have and you could have, but I don't know if you would have thought about it. Does that make sense?
Like the limitations, I think like the anxiety factors. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think when you've got ADHD and you're having to, I mean, mine was undiagnosed till 4 years ago.
Yeah,
I
same.
had to
Very
learn
recently.
I had to learn myself all over again. And it's almost like you have to press a reset button on your life because everything you knew, maybe like, I don't know about you, but like being told, oh, you've just got depression or it's just anxiety. And then you think that there's something wrong, there's something wrong. And then when you finally get answers, that's when like the
Oh,
transformation
yeah.
happens. So I'm going solo traveling now. I'm going to see people like that I never thought. I mean, I'm doing this. I never thought anything like this I could
Yeah.
conjure up, you know. But I think that's it, isn't it? Like when you've got that self-belief, you can actually do anything.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. You can do anything with that self-belief. You know, you just put your mind to it. Like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be a DJ." It's bang, done.
Why not?
You know, any like you doing this podcast, it's you've just got to really believe in it, haven't you?
Yeah.
And
Because
then you'll do it.
if I was like going to a rave, like say 10, 15 years ago, and you say you were on stage and I admire you, I'd be too scared to talk to you.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, you're
You
right.
just yeah, yeah, yeah. I think the reason I said that, I feel like it's quite brave for the younger generations because there's also, a real worry. I mean, my children are 9 and 12, so they're not teens yet, but
Yeah.
there's a real worry with social media and doom scrolling and everything that you can't actually speak to people anymore. Like, they don't know how to have a conversation. So I think
Totally.
I actually think it's a smaller amount of. I think the drum and bass, is amazing for anyone who can get into it at a young age because you're instantly gonna feel the friendliness and learn those skills that perhaps you've not learned because you've just been like this on your phone for your
Yeah.
whole teenage years, which we didn't have. You know,
No.
didn't
No, we
even
did not.
have a phone till I was 19.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, there's sort of two. Yeah, so I do think I do. I really really enjoy seeing the younger generation keeping it going
And they
because we
don't
need
have
them
their
to be.
phones out recording either. I noticed it yesterday. Not many people had the phones out.
That's
I
good.
do because I'm
Yeah.
getting social media content, but like there were times where you were at a rave, you put your phone away and
Hopefully that's dying down a little
I
bit,
hope so.
but
'Cause I hate it. You know, when you see like video footage of a rave or whatever, and you see that like just hundreds and thousands of phones,
yeah,
and it's like
like
it
Printworks,
wasn't it.
down it's just phones, wasn't it?
It wasn't hit. I think it is more in the hip hop community. I've
Mm,
noticed, especially on like videos you see. But like, yeah, I think yeah, for like the younger generations, like my son's 13, and he's. I've just given him the decks that I bought for myself and couldn't use. I've just given them to him, and he's really good at
oh,
13. He's
brilliant.
got it, like, and I'm like, and so for like watching him instead of being on his phone doom scrolling, and he's like, "Mom, listen to this. I've blended these two tracks," and I'm listening to him do it, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like it's
Yeah,
quite, yeah, it's quite
yeah.
warming, isn't it?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I've been trying to get my son Marley. He does play the drums though, and he's played the drums since he was 6, so a good 7 years. I keep saying you need to do a drum and bass tune. So I think adding something else into his, it's 'cause he's had a few DJ lessons and I've tried to teach him and he loves drum and bass, absolutely
Oh,
loves it.
God.
I think I think with him, if he's gonna pick it up, he's going to want to do it himself, because the decks are just down there, he could go and play on them whenever he wanted to, but he's just not quite got that interest yet.
A lot of artists still do use actual instruments to use to make drum and bass, like Vengeance one, I've noticed he does his own drums and stuff like, and I love that. I think there's something about still putting that organic percussion into it. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
Yeah.
it's quite nice to see it actually, and it's becoming rarer. But do you find that, are you, I mean, as somebody that is a DJ, are you worried about AI and how it's having an impact on people?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say, producing vocalists and also for flyers, it's putting a lot of creative designers, graphic designers out of work like that, overnight. And but they're not great, are they? The AI flyers.
They all look the same.
But people are using them and you can really see,
Yeah.
that it's AI, but so that's a shame. Yeah, definitely. And I think vocalists, isn't there a lot at the moment, like they're having their kind of voice, their vocals sort of stolen in a way, haven't they? So that's really worrying. I don't know. The problem with AI though is that it's not gonna go away.
No.
So you got to evolve with it. There's nothing you can do about it. So I think, not moaning, but like obviously there's a reason to moan about it, but it's not gonna change. It's only gonna get bigger and more crazy. So so everyone has to find a way to evolve with it. Um,
Yeah.
but also to support if it is, graphic designers that are losing their jobs and that's what they did, then it's making sure that there's awareness and people are supporting those people. But if someone can put it into ChatGPT or any of these AI platforms to make a flyer for free, they're gonna do it sometimes, aren't they? That money is tight everywhere, isn't it, at the
It is,
moment?
but the thing is with
And
the chat leaflets, they all look the same. Like,
yeah, they're not good. I think it's educating people that it's not great.
and they all
You
have,
could
like, the same layout. Does that make sense? Like, you'll have the business, and then it's like you'll have, like, the underlines and the random little bits of text, and it just doesn't, like, I've just done one for, I do, like, networking, like, professional networking, and I've done mine myself, and I sent it to the person that's place I'm using, and they were like, "Oh, no, I've already done it," and they sent me this AI post, and I was like, "I've just spent 2 hours doing a poster for no reason." Like,
uh,
and it does make you feel, like, disheartened.
and, it's the same for, well, a lot of marketing companies as well. Like, I'm
Yeah.
glad I'm not in marketing really, now, but, copywriting, anything like that. Anyone that had that skill before that now you can just chuck it in and say, "Write it in a professional way or write it in this way." I wouldn't be able to write like that. That's why we had copyright, that's why we have big marketing companies. So, yeah, there's a lot of companies that are gonna be affected, but, y we can't get away from it, so it's evolving with it, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. I think you're right by sort of like but also people haven't, like you said, haven't got the money to throw at graphic designers. And, I had someone on a couple of weeks ago and they said, "Oh, I feel really bad. I used an AI because I couldn't afford my album artwork to be done by a professional because it was going to cost me like thousands. And I didn't have that sort of money. So I just chucked it into chat and they did me what I asked for." So I kind of see it as like, you're right. We have to kind of evolve and grow with it. But as as a vocalist, it's horrible because so
Bores me too.
easy. It's so easy to, I mean, I've even like literally said to people, I tell all my guests, I've got a lovely bucket list here. My top one is to be a vocalist on drum and bass tracks. It's all I want to do, and I've completed my role in life.
Yeah.
But it's trying to persuade somebody, like you say, look, I will do it for free. I don't care. You can have my voice. I just want to say that that's my voice on a track. Do you know what I mean? But people just go, well, it's just easier to go on X, Y, and Z app and get someone's voice and pay a tenner to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you can tell the AI produced tunes though, can't you?
You can.
I'd like to think in the drum and bass scene as well, like, you know your female vocalist quite well, and that hopefully that, that's not affecting them, and it will continue. I definitely, my bucket list, top of my bucket list is producing, because I think to get, further than supporting big artists, but locally, it is to produce. Everyone's
Oh,
booked now. You've got to be doing the social media thing. You've got to be producing. Back in the day, you could just DJ. We're talking like Mickey Finn and Nicky Blackmark. They were DJs. They didn't have all the social media, and you didn't have to produce. They did. Um, but you were booked because you were a DJ. But now you're booked because you produce, pretty much. It's the other way around.
yeah, I've noticed a big
Um,
change in that actually.
so, but it's taking the time out from gigging. I work 9 to 6, got 2 kids. There's very little time. You got to choose where your time is. But that's yeah, definitely going to have some lessons with Ed. He's amazing. And so if we need some female vocals, then here we go.
Thank you. I'm going to ask you about female DJs and female producers because we are seeing actually quite a rise in the female sort of, I say the female takeover because I love it. And I think, you see it in some comments sometimes, especially like a female DJ, they'll go, that's a man's job. And it's like, who said it was a man's job?
Yeah, it is. It is a debate, isn't it? I think when you look at lineup, I mean, I'll often be the only female on a lineup, or there'll be a couple of us maybe.
Yeah.
But and I don't think the promoter is being unfair in any way.
No, not
It'd be
at all.
really hard when there's a lot of DJs on the lineup. There are just more male drum and bass DJs
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
But they do still tend to be the bigger names at the top of, big flyers. There is that kind of, you know, that's not quite equal yet. And there's some absolutely amazing female DJs, isn't there? And I'd like to see their names at the top. Like it's
Yeah,
it's
me too.
still it's still the guys, isn't it? So, but you do, yeah. I'll give you a little example. Supporting somebody quite big, and I went backstage, and I think a few of the MCs thought that maybe I was one of the DJ's girlfriends, or
Oh,
and it wasn't that there was like they just weren't very warm, or say hello or whatever. And then once I played, they're like, "Oh my god," coming up to you. That was amazing. It's like, but you should treat people the same regardless of what you're doing and who you are anyway. But
yeah.
it's that, yeah, like, "Oh, you're the DJ." Yeah.
Yes, actually, as it goes, I am. Yeah. I think you find that in life though, don't you? Like, you don't, people kind of judge you at face value and then they afterwards they're like, "Oh, you're not the person." I mean, I've been guilty of it. I've met somebody before and I don't know, I get like a bit of a weird feeling off them and I'm like, "Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna get on with you." And then we end up being really good friends afterwards. And it's like, isn't it funny how that happens? Like, but yeah, I think for the most part that women in the music industry anyway, they are treated slightly different. And I think that it's so nice to see, like, say, Leisha, Veridity. These are sort of the women that I've been talking with recently, and they're just incredible human beings. Like, and they're like, yes, it's so good to see that sort of female input into the drum and bass world. Definitely.
Yeah, yeah. And I think there's a different energy, isn't there, with watching females? Um, Different energy, different vibe. But yeah, it's definitely something to still fight for. But yeah, and it's about getting known as well, because the problem with the algorithms, if you're always looking at certain DJs, and it's just sort of getting more female DJs, like, more known in the
Absolutely.
scene. Yeah, and fighting your way up there.
I feel like you will definitely do that though.
Yeah,
I do.
you just
I
gotta
think
stay, like, focused. It's gonna
you will. You
happen.
will. You absolutely will. So what's next for you then? So like what are you up to next?
So, I feel like there's been something every week for months. But the next I've got a couple of events in August. One is called Jack Jam, so it's more of a, like, reggae. I'm gonna be doing like a reggae ragga D&B set in a barbecue pit. I've realized I've been playing on like some funny stages. I think this one's a boxing ring with a barbecue battle or something. Um, and I'm doing Mucky Weekender, which is my dream. So that's in September. And also Send It 100 in Portsmouth, which is the end of year. So Portsmouth's 100 this year. So it's a massive celebration. It's a 2-day sort of festival, really. The first day is like a lot of indie music. Second day is Wilkinson, Serum, Ardy, quite a lot of others on the lineup. It's family friendly, which never happens for drum and bass. So I'm very excited for my children to see me play. And that's September the 19th. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, that must be
Weekend of
like a
September.
proper full circle moment with your kids. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Because they don't often get to see me play. It's
oh, that
always over 18, isn't it, for drum and bass events? So
I hate that, but I understand why they do it. But I
yeah.
do think they do need to do more family friendly ones because, like, my son is itching to see Andromedic, Metric. He's itching to see the more
Yeah.
prosthetic.
Yeah. My son loves Sub Focus. I think that would be his dream to go and see Sub Focus. But I think, yeah, seeing Wilkinson, he'll be happy. And we're doing Victorious Festival. I'm playing in the roller disco, but
Wow.
I think Rudimental are playing, and my son's loved Rudimental. So he used to, when he was 3, he used to sing all their songs like word perfect. So I was like, oh, we're finally going to see Rudimental.
Oh my God, you must be the coolest mom ever. I love that. Oh, thank you so, so much for coming on. It's been absolutely amazing.
Thank
Like,
you.
share your journey as well, like with things that you've been through. And honestly, it's really inspirational. So thank you, my lovely, for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much for listening, guys. You can find my podcast every Tuesday and Thursday. And don't forget to follow me on all social media platforms. See you next time.